How did you develop your way of playing? Was that just something you heard or just came up with yourself?
I think that, I I became interested in fingerstyle guitar, which is just playing without a pick and playing, picking with your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, I had just the interest for me came when I really discovered these solo instrumentalists who the unwritten rule, or maybe it was written, it seemed like it was probably written that you could only have one instrument per record, like one guitar, one microphone, set it up, and make 45 minutes of great music. And there were a lot of people who did that, and it's very, you have to be very disciplined and very challenging. And I think I was at a point, maybe 15, 16, where I was looking for some sort of challenge. And I just thought that was intriguing and interesting. And so that's how I began to realize that all the sounds that I heard in my head had to be produced just on the guitar. And in order to make that happen, you just have to use whatever technique works. But it was always a means to serve the song or the composition, as opposed to, look how awesome I can look. This looks so cool. Yeah.
And you mentioned that you spend a lot of time touring. Are there particular venues that you like to play and some that you absolutely dread?
I like it all, because I'm lucky enough, and I really, really love this, is that I can play crazy rock clubs, or I can play the beautiful sit-down, acoustic rooms, or I can play the performing arts spaces that are, in 200-year-old halls. I can do a lot, and I've done a lot. And so I think if I had to do one type of, if I was in a rock band and I had to play dirty rock clubs for the rest of my life, I might lose my mind. But the fact that I play a lot of solo, kind of almost jazz clubs makes me crave the rock clubs and crave everything else. So I get to do a lot, and I get to be in front of huge festival audiences or small, 100-seat theaters or listening rooms. And so I love it all. I really wouldn't want to pick one if I had to. I like that I don't have to do the same thing every night.
You started playing, well, not started playing, but have played in the subway, like when you kind of first moved here. Is that, yeah. What's that like?
It's hard. The things that are hard are not the things you'd expect. There's no bathrooms.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, that's hard. If you're sitting there playing and you have to sort of time things, there's no bathrooms, there's no water, food, or kind of creature comforts. And those are the hardest things, as opposed to the heat or the cold or the people.
How long do you sit and play?
Well, that's what I would sit and play until I had to pee, and then I would. But see, you have all your stuff with you, and then you have to go and get your stuff and haul it up the stairs and go find, I don't know, there's a guy I used to buy samosas from, and he'd let me use the bathroom. And then I'd go back down the stairs and set everything up again, and by that time, maybe someone else had taken my spot or whatever. So usually I would play for 2 to 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. Do you make money? Like, can you make money?
You do, yeah. I made a surprising amount of
I guess
money.
if you're good.
Well, if you're a girl, and I mean, I know I say this is gonna sound, it's gonna sound how it's gonna sound, but I think if you kind of look, the more pathetic you look, and the more you look like you really could use $1, people are more willing to give it sometimes. I don't know, maybe that's not true, but I do think people. My technique was to play on non-super busy platforms, because I think people would almost, instead of just sort of the obligatory change that you throw to the subway musician, people will always be like, wow, like I feel like I have just purchased a song because she just played it for me. And that was sort of the feeling, because I had them long enough so I could get a full song in.
Yeah.